everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review, and today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the new Marvel Legends Doctor Strange Book of Vishanti San Diego Comic-Con exclusive box set from Hasbro. Now this set sold out at the convention, but there should be some still made available on Hasbro Toy Shop. Hasbro said they're going to list their Comic-Con exclusives online on July 28th. Don't have an exact time, so you're just going to have to periodically check the site. I know it's a pain, but that's how it goes. And these probably will sell out pretty quickly. This was a pretty popular set, it seems, at Comic-Con. So the set comes packaged in this pretty cool book-like packaging. It's made to look like Doctor Strange's magic book, the Vishanti, and I think they've done a good job. It's the front, is a hard cardboard. It definitely kind of feels and looks like a book. The outer is made to look like pages. Now it's got this little slipcase lift up that keeps the book kind of sealed. On the end, it's got the Book of Vishanti. It's got the Eye of Agamotto on there. And then on the back, it's just blank. And then it opens up, and it's actually, you've got some pages on the inside. Again, the inside cover is made to look like a book, done very nicely. And then you've got some written pages for Doctor Strange. I'm not going to read it, but if you want to look over it, you can. There's about 3 pages, and it is just kind of brief bios for the characters that are in the set. Very nicely done. Looks like, old, the writing's done like old, English with the artwork, something like you might expect from a book like this. And then the figures are in this red velvet covered tray, and they're nicely displayed. You've got the little role play Eye of Agamotto, I think that's how you pronounce it, in the middle, and then you've got the figures with the accessories and everything. And they just kind of pull out, they're not their ties or anything, so that's pretty nice. But I really like the packaging on this. I think they did a nice job, and it really kind of feels like you're carrying a book around when you have it. So I do like that a lot. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside of the packaging. Now, first of all, this is going to be more of a kind of just a quick overview of the entire set. I'll look at each figure and give you my views of it, but it's not going to be as an in-depth a review as you might want. Shartimus Prime is going to give you in-depth reviews of each figure in their own reviews. Starting later today, I believe he's going to be doing his brother Voodoo review. So if you want a more in-depth look at each of these figures, be sure to subscribe to his channel, or we'll have them up on MarvelousNews.com, those reviews, once he has them, so you can check them out there as well. But I just wanted to give you kind of a quick overview of the set as a whole. And so here are all 5 figures, and you can see they kind of range in size. We've got the dreaded Dormammu, man, that's hard to say, that name is hard to say, which is really a Build-A-Figure, even though it's not sold as a Build-A-Figure. But this basically uses the Terex Build-A-Figure mold. I believe it's Terex. I don't have Terex, but I believe that's the mold this figure is using. And it does actually kind of fall apart pretty easily, especially when you're taking it out of the packaging. We've got Brother Voodoo, who reuses that favorite Bucky cap mold that we all love. Hela, which seems to primarily use the Red She-Hulk mold. Doctor Strange, which is a reuse of the Doctor Strange figure we just got in the Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure wave, only done with translucent plastic. And then Magic, which is primarily a reuse of the Jubilee Build-A-Figure mold. As I said before, this is basically just an exact reuse of that figure we got in the Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure wave, only it's been done in translucent plastic to give you that astral form, ghostly look. And I think it comes off looking pretty cool. If you're a fan of translucent figures, I think you'll definitely like this one. The only paint applications really on this is you've got some metallic silver on his belt buckle and then on his shirt, and they've used it again on his eyes. And he's got some darkened in colors for his mustache and his eyebrows. And that's basically it. Really no paint applications, a little bit up here around his neck with the silver lining, but really no paint applications on the back of the figure, just the translucent plastic. The skirt piece, separate from the figure, done with that kind of soft vinyl material that we have come accustomed to with these figures, and again done with translucent plastic. For accessories, he comes with the same magic pieces as the regular Doctor Strange figure, only they've been done in a kind of silvery white color this time, and they just clip onto his wrists just like before. Now, I found with these things, it's kind of difficult to get these things on his wrist without actually bending the plastic on these. So you got to be careful. You really have to kind of like spread the plastic out a little bit and clip it on. But again, I mean, if you've got the Scarlet Witch figure or the Doctor Strange, then you know how this basically works. Sculpting on the figure is nice. I like the head sculpt. I like how the hands are sculpted in his magic conjuring poses. So, and again, with the added translucent plastic, it all comes out looking pretty nice. You can see down here at his feet, you can kind of see like the hinges. So that looks a little funny, but again, you know, that's kind of to be expected with a translucent clear plastic figure like this. And just for a comparison, here is next to the Vision figure that is also done in translucent plastic. Now, the Vision's done in a frosted kind of translucent plastic, whereas this is a more clear plastic with kind of like blue tinting to it. Both of these, I think, you know, could make for good Iceman customs if you're into that kind of thing. So the figure stands just under 6.5 inches tall. Articulation on the figure is pretty good. Now, the figure does kind of suffer, at least in the elbows, from that kind of gummy joint. Not that big a deal to me, but he does have those kind of soft rubber gummy joints there in the elbows. Head's on a hinge joint, so he can look up good, he can look down good, and he can look left and right good. Kind of tilt his head to the left and right as well. So he's got good head movement. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joints at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good. He's got good rotation. You kind of get that click with when you rotate the arm. He's got the bicep swivel. He's got the double hinged elbow, but again, kind of has those gummy joints there. And then he's got the hinges at the wrist, so you can get up and down movement with the hands for magic conjuring poses. And he's got the swivel at the wrists. He's got the midsection joint, so he can crunch down pretty good, and he can look up pretty decently. He's got the waist swivel. Legs are attached with your ball joints, but the skirt piece does limit how much he can do the splits a bit. The skirt's not really, it's a separate piece, but it's not really removable. You can get his legs out forward good, but again, can't really do his legs back because of the skirt piece. He's got the thigh swivel. He's got a double jointed knees, and the knees are more solid than the elbows. They're a little bit soft there, but not too bad. He's got the boot cuff swivel, and then he's got the ankle pivot. And 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so up next we'll look at the Hela figure, and I think this comes out looking pretty nice. We've got basically black with some like green glitterish reflective paint mixed into the blacks, and then you've got the green striping throughout the costume. So I think it overall looks pretty good. No real serious paint blemishes on my figure. Got green for the head, and then the black for the stuff around her mask, whatever you want to call that. Actually, it's a dark green, not black. And again, kind of done with that kind of glittery type paint. So it kind of matches the rest of the body, I think. Now, these are just kind of soft plastic, these things that come off her mask. Now, the ones on her actual face are not removable, but these long ones on the back of her head are. They just kind of plug into the back of the head, so you can remove them if you want. Now, if you do that, you've got these big kind of gaping holes in the back of her forehead. But if you want to, display her without the longer pieces for the mask, you can do that. And I think that looks pretty good too, at least from the front. Again, from the back, you've got the big holes. Now the cape, it's a soft goods cape, and it's basically the same exact material and color that they use for the Gamora poncho in that Guardians of the Galaxy box set. that's the Entertainment Earth exclusive. So it's the same material, same color that they used. And it looks pretty good, I think, on the figure. I'm not always a fan of soft goods capes, but I think this one comes out looking good. It's attached to this plastic piece that fits on her neck, which is removable. You can pop her head off, and there's a plug that fits on the hole in the back of the figure. And that's, basically it's a separate piece from the soft goods, but they've put these little clips on, so the cape is, it's not meant to be removed from this piece. You could if you really wanted to, but it's not really meant to be. But I guess if you wanted to display it without the cape at all, you could do that if you're careful. Once you get it off, it looks like these little things you can kind of pull off. They just kind of clip on, but I'm not going to try and do it because I may not be able to get them back on if I did. But nevertheless, you can have her with or without the cape. Without the shoulder piece if you want, or the shoulder pads, whatever you want to call that, and you can have her without the big pieces on the mask if you want. So overall, I think the figure looks good. She comes with a sword. I think this is the Black Knight sword we've seen a few times. I think Valkyrie had the same sword, and with this one they've painted it a green, kind of a lime green color for the blade, and then the black wrappings for the hilt. Actually, this isn't the same sword as Valkyrie. I forget who else we saw with this sword recently, but actually I think it was the Gamora figure from the Guardians of the Galaxy box set. And if you're wondering, I have not had any problems with these pieces on the back of her head falling off, even when I turn the head, so they do fit in pretty tightly. I know sometimes with these clip-in pieces, they have a tendency to fall out, but with on this figure, these pieces actually stay in the head nice and tight for the most part, so I like that. Figure stands, if you count to the tip of these things on the front of her mask, then she stands a little bit over 7 inches tall. Now if you count the parts of her mask that come out the back of her head, she actually stands closer to 7.5 inches tall. She seems to use primarily the same parts as the Red She-Hulk figure Hasbro did. The legs, the arms, the hands, and the lower torso all seem to be from the She-Hulk figure as far as I can tell. The upper torso I have not been able to match up. She's got a hole on her back for the cape, so I don't know if this is a new piece. I haven't, again, been able to match it up with any existing female figures from Hasbro, so I don't know if it's new or if it's a reuse. If you've got any ideas, let me know. But again, with that hole in the back, it doesn't seem to be from any of the existing female figures. Articulation's pretty decent on this figure. The head is just on a regular ball joint, so she can look left and right with no problem. She doesn't have a whole lot of up or down movement on this one. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joints at the shoulder, so she can get her arm out good. And with the cape on, it does limit how much you can rotate her arm back. So you can't rotate her arm all the way around with the cape on. She's got the bicep swivel. She's got the single hinged elbow. She's got the swivel at the elbow as well. She's got the hinge. Actually, she does. Yeah, she's got hinges, though they're a little tight on mine. And she's got the hinges at the hands, so she's got good up and down movement. She's got the swivel at the midsection. No real up or down crunching with the midsection. No waist swivel on this one. Legs are attached with hinge joints, so she can do the splits about that much. She can get her leg forward good, and she can do her leg out and back. She's got the thigh swivel. She's got double jointed knees, and then she does have ankle pivots, and then 2 peg holes on the bottom of her feet. Okay, so for Brother Voodoo, so this figure primarily uses the Bucky cap mold. I haven't matched up necessarily all the parts, so I don't know where the hands are from, and I'm not sure, I haven't looked closely with the legs and everything, but primarily for the most part is Bucky cap. He's got Pretty decent paint applications. Basically the costume's all black, so no real detail with that, just straight black. But then he's got the white striping that looks like it's kind of just been painted on. And then I like the details. He's got this little belt with these skulls on the side, and I like how the detailing with that and the paint, they've got the white striping on there, and that I think came out looking really good. The belt itself is just green. Got a little red mark on the side of the belt, but not a big deal. He's got gold metallic for his wristbands, and they again use that on his cape for his Eye of Agamotto. I think he was, I'm not a huge expert on Brother Voodoo. I know he's appearing recently in the Uncanny Avengers. I think he was temporary for a short time. I think he was Sorcerer Supreme. I don't think he is anymore, but that's why he has the Eye of Agamotto, which is kind of like painted on there with the neon green. He's also got some white. Again, I think the face sculpt looks pretty good on this one, with the little skull white painted on the front of his face, and then again he's got the neon green markings on his forehead. The hair sculpting is pretty nice. He's got the white in the middle or on the top of his head, and then the rest is just black. But I like the sculpting of the hair. I think that came out looking good. He has a cape, and it's a two-part to the cape, so you can take it off, and the first part goes over the neck, and this is with the Eye of Agamotto, and you got the little bone necklace and everything. And then he's got a second cape, which is actually just a reuse of the Vision cape that we got in the Hulkbuster wave. It's just been painted red. And it actually looks like it's got a little of washwork in the cape as well, so you got some darker red and some lighter red throughout it. So that actually looks pretty good. And if you want, I mean, you can, if you don't want to have the eye, you just want him to have a cape, you know, you can have that look, though it doesn't look as good. And I think you need both pieces for it to look decent. It looks kind of funny without the second piece. And he's got the hole on the back, and the cape just fits in the hole. And of course you can have him displayed without the cape at all if you want. And then he comes with this staff, this magic staff, which I think is actually pretty cool how they've done it. So the bottom part is just done with brown, you know, to give it like a wood staff look. It's just a dark brown paint, and you've got some like green sculpted on it. But then the top part of the staff is done with translucent green, so this is kind of like to mimic the magic effect. So, and he's got some like ghostly faces coming out the side of the both sides of the staff. There's a little bit of washwork, you know, a lighter paint done on these faces. So I like the effect of the staff, and I thought they did a pretty good job with it. So this figure stands at about 6.5 inches tall. Articulation is pretty good because he uses the Bucky cap mold. He can look left and right. He can look up. He's got a hinge on his neck, so he can look up and down pretty good. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joint, so he can get his arm out good, and he's got good rotation. He's got the bicep swivel. He's got the double jointed elbows. Elbows, you know, not too bad with the gummy joints on this one, so that's pretty good. He's got the hinges on the wrist, so actually I take that, he's got side hinges on his hand, so he's got the left to right movement, not the up and down movement on this hand, on his right hand. On his left hand, he's actually got the up and down movement, so they've given him side to side movement with the right hand, and up and down movement with the right hand, or yeah, right hand side to side, left hand up and down. And he's got swivels on both. He's got the midsection joint, so he can crunch down and he can look up pretty good. He's got the waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg forward good. He can do his leg out and back pretty good. He's got the thigh swivel. He's got the double jointed knee. He's got the boot cuff swivel, and then he's got the ankle pivot. And then 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so here's a look at the Dormammu figure, and as I said, this is basically a build-a figure, and the parts do come off pretty easily, especially like his legs and his head, so, you know, just be prepared for that. It, as far as I can tell, it pretty much uses the Terex Build-A-Figure mold. I don't have that figure, but from images, that's what it looks like. He's got the shoulder pad piece, which is separate. You can pop the head off and take it off if you want. and he's got like the veins sculpted on there. And he's got some pretty nice wash work on this one, some shading and stuff with the red. So you've got some darker colors mixed in the red, both on the chest and then on the skirt piece as well. He's got, I like the lower part of his arms are actually kind of, the hands are like translucent purple plastic, and then the translucent kind of works its way up until it becomes solid plastic. So I like that effect. And then he's got kind of that glitter, not quite marbleization, but kind of almost like a glitter for his skin colors on the purple, like on his arms and stuff. I like the sculpting on the back of the skirt piece. That looks pretty good. He's even got, I think this is supposed to be like some like magic inscribed writings throughout the cape, so that's kind of nice detail. And that's just with a soft vinyl plastic. And then he's got a, besides that, then he's got the skirt piece that, and then the figure itself. So he's got the kind of cape piece that comes down from the waist, and then he's got the skirt piece, and then it's the figure itself. And again, throughout the body, you know, some dark colors shaded in with the purple. So pretty nice detail overall with the paint applications on this figure. And then the head itself is done with translucent orange plastic for the flame effect, and you've got some darker orange colors with the lighter translucent plastic, so that looks good. And then the face itself is just done in black, and the eyes and the mouth you can see through, you know, they're translucent plastic. So I like the effect overall with this figure. Comes with two accessories, two flaming skull heads, and these are the same skull heads that basically from the Ghost Rider figure that was Hasbro did in the Terex Build-A-Figure series wave. So this is basically Ghost Rider's head, and he comes with two of them, and they're done with the translucent plastic. And the figure stands at about 9 inches tall, maybe a little bit under 9 inches. So as I said, articulation, the joints are a bit loose and they have a tendency to kind of pop off like that. There goes his head. So just be prepared for that. The head's on a ball joint, so he can look left and right assuming it doesn't fall off the ball joint. Doesn't really have a whole lot of up or down movement. Arms, oh, there goes the midsection. It comes apart at the midsection. So he's got a swivel waist. He's got the ab crunch, so he can crunch down and he can look up pretty good. Arms are attached with ball hinge joints, but with the shoulder piece, that's about as far out as you can get the arm. He's got the bicep swivel. He's got a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much. And then he's got swivel and hinges with the hands. Again, with the shoulder shoulder pads on, he doesn't have very good rotation at the arm. And again, knock the head off. That joint, it's a ball joint basically, no hinge or anything. So it just doesn't really have a whole lot of head movement there, and the head has a tendency to fall off very easily. Skirt piece kind of limits the movement on the legs as well. You can't really do the splits very much. You can get the arm out. Oh, there goes that section piece again. Very loose, very annoying. He can get his arms or his legs out about that much. Can't really do his legs back. Again, can't really do the splits. Does have a thigh swivel, though it's hard to see with the skirt piece. He's got the double jointed knees, but again, all those skirt pieces kind of limit how much you can really bend the knees. He's got swivel at the boot cuff, and then he does have ankle pivots, but again, he's got these things that come down around his legs, and so it does limit somewhat how much up and down movement. He can get his foot down pretty good, but he can't really do his foot up much. He can do it about straight, but it does limit a little bit with the ankle movement there. But he does actually have ankle pivots. And then 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so the final figure in the set is the Magic figure, which is probably the one that people want the most from this set. It's X-Men character, obviously. It's in her Uncanny X-Men black leather skimpy outfit that she's been wearing in recent issues. It's basically using the Jubilee Build-A-Figure wave, so we've got the gap between her legs and her midsection, which I don't like about this mold. But otherwise, I think the figure looks good. It's got the belt piece, which is separate from the figure. She's got the little red X on the side. she's got the very long hair, which does limit somewhat of her head movement, and she's got the headpiece, and that's kind of a softer plastic. But I think it looks good. I like the head sculpt. I think that came out, really looks like magic to me. They've whited out her eyes, and she's got the red lipstick. Some wash work on her hair, so nice paint detailing in the hair. And I think the hair looks good. I like how it comes down her back. It just, again, limits somewhat her head movement. She's got this one arm that's got the spikes and the metal down the arm. She comes with 2 swords, so this is like her magic sword, and it's definitely unique to her. And it's done with, the blade itself is almost a translucent frosted plastic, and then it's got the black. So not a lot of paint detail, but the translucent plastic actually, when you turn it in certain light, has a blue tint to it, so that's kind of cool. At first I almost thought it maybe glowed in the dark, but it doesn't seem to. And then she comes with this other sword, which I haven't been able to place, so I'm not sure if it's a reuse of an existing sword. But I think the detailing on it's nice. It's got the black wrappings on the handle, and then just a metallic silver for the blade. This figure stands, if you count to the tips of her headpiece, stands just about 6 inches tall. And here's for some comparison. Here she is next to Emma Frost, and she's a bit shorter than Emma, as she should be. And then next to the Marvel Now Cyclops. And again, she's a bit shorter than Cyclops. So the scale on the figure, I think, works pretty well. Articulation's okay on the figure. Again, as I mentioned, the head is limited with the hair and kind of catches on the spikes on her arm. So she can't really look left or right very much. And she has some up and down movement, or down movement with the head, but not a whole lot. So the head movement on this one is quite restricted. But other than that, articulation's good. Shoulders are attached with your standard ball hinge joints. She's got good rotation at the arm. Even the metal arm, she's got good rotation, though she can't really get the metal arm all the way out because of the spikes. She's got the, she does not have a bicep swivel. She does have swivel at the elbow, and she's got a single hinged elbow. She's got the hands, does have hinges on the hands, so she's got up and down movement with the hands, and she's got the swivel. The robot hand, or the metal hand, also has a hinge, so she's got some up and down movement, more up than down on that one. Midsection joint, so she's got swivel at the midsection, no real crunch there. Legs are attached with ball joints, so she can do the splits about that much, and she can get her leg forward about that much. Can't really do her leg back. Again, she has that gap between the leg and the torso of the body because it's that Jubilee mold. She's got a thigh swivel. She's got a double jointed knee. She's got swivel at the boot cuff. And then she does have ankle pivot. And then 2 peg holes on the bottom of her feet. Finally, in this set, we get this kind of role play Eye of Agamotto. Agamotto, yeah, however you pronounce it. It's just a plastic hollowed out, there's just kind of hollowed light plastic done in gold metallic paint. You've got the eye sculpted, so it looks pretty good. I saw a lot of people wearing these around the convention center at San Diego Comic-Con, so it kind of makes a cool role-playing piece. So that's my review. Overall, I think this is a pretty nice set. I like the packaging. I think that came out looking really nice. I like most of the figures in the set. I mean, I don't dislike any of the figures, but the Dormammu is probably the most disappointing just because it falls apart so easily. At least mine does. I like the Hela figure. I like Magic. Brother Voodoo, it's not a major character that I've been looking forward to, but it's not a bad figure, and he is playing a larger role in the Marvel Universe, being a part of the Uncanny Avengers, so it's probably a nice addition to your collection. So overall, I give this set a thumbs up. It should be, if you weren't at the convention and weren't able to pick it up at the convention, it should go on sale on HasbroToyShop.com on July 28th. So be sure to mark your calendar. You're probably going to want to check the site often until it actually goes live, because it's probably not going to last very long. It did sell out completely at Comic-Con, but again, they should have a few sets that they held back for Hasbro Toy Shop. Shartimus Prime's going to be doing a more in-depth review of each of these figures, so we'll have those up on MarvelousNews.com. So, as I said, I think he should be doing Brother Voodoo later today. So be sure to check that out. And as always, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.